Marks are one of the more personable aspects of Pokémon Sword and Shield, and they add another meaning to catching them all. But what exactly are they? That's our topic for today's video. So what exactly are marks? All Pokemon have a chance of having a mark, ranging from 1 out of 25 for the Catch of the Day mark to 1 in 1,000 for the Recluse mark. They act as titles that you can activate inside of your ribbon page, and what they do is they give your Pokemon the title of that mark whenever they're sent out into battle. So, for example, for my introduction, if you remember my Whimsicott, it has the Cloudy mark. So, when I send it out in battle, it becomes Whimsicott the Cloud Watcher when I activate it inside of my ribbon page. So note that you can only get marks on Pokemon caught in the wild. They can't be obtained through max raid battles, and they can't be passed down through breeding. So this gives another aspect of catching wild Pokemon and another meaning. Catching them and actually raising them instead of just relying on breeding to give you competitively viable Pokemon. As well, included in the Isle of Armor DLC, there is the Mark Charm. Now, what the Mark Charm does is it increases the odds of getting a Pokemon with a mark. So this mark allows for 2 extra rolls of, getting a Pokemon with a mark. So if there's 1 in 50 chance of getting a Pokemon like Whimsicott with the Cloudy mark, that number is re-rolled to 3 out of 50. So it essentially triples the odds of getting a Pokemon with a mark. And it re-rolls that rate for all of the marks. While they might not have any real immediate benefits to getting a mark, they add definitely a more personal aspect of raising a wild Pokemon and using it competitively. And this aspect was seen in Aaron Traylor, Wolfglix, and Justin Karras's VGC Dallas winning team in January. Linked to an article that Aaron Traylor wrote will be included in the description below. And they wanted to make a mark team. And marks weren't very well known before this point, so having Pokemon with titles like that appearing, well, it seemed like a really cool idea. And then people started getting on board, and that just steamrolled the popularity from there. And I think just the collection aspect of it just makes marks seem such a worthwhile venture to get. Heck, even getting a shiny with a mark. Can you imagine the odds of that? Oh my god, that'd be crazy. I mean, the luck that you'd have to have in order to find that, because you'd have to find a wild Pokemon shiny, and then you'd have to get a mark on top of that, so that just makes the odds even slimmer of getting that. So again, finding that would actually absolutely be mind-blowing. There are time of day marks, just like my Hoodoo with the early riser ribbon, or, the dawn mark. We've got Clefairy with the Misty mark, since it was caught in foggy weather. And there's marks like the Catch of the Day, which I did talk about. So I've got Basculin, the Catch of the Day. So there are lots of different types of marks, whether they're time of day, whether personality marks even. If we go down to my Crustle the Opportunist, he has the Crafty mark. So there are a bunch of different types of marks. And if you're wanting to find all the marks, there is a list on Serebii, which, again, I will include that link in the description as well. It has a full comprehensive list of all the marks that you can obtain on wild Pokemon. Very solid resource. I will make sure that I put that in the description for you guys. And, of course, leave a comment down below on what your favorite is. My personal favorite marked Pokemon is Slowpoke with the excited mark. He just looks so giddy, so Slowpoke the Giddy, I think, actually fits perfectly. So, leave a comment down below what your favorite marked Pokemon is. Again, this is probably one of my favorites. He just looks so giddy. It fits so perfect. I wanted to mention as well, when you're catching wild Pokemon with marks, they're not going to have very good stats. And that can be seen here with my Whimsicott. Let's go into my box view, actually. That'd be helpful. So, if we look at it, it doesn't have very good stats. I want to use it on a competitive team, so it doesn't really have the best of stats. So what am I going to do about it? Well, I would need to raise it to level 100, and I'd have to come to Winden and Hyper Train. So that would also mean a lot of bottle caps, which means you'd have to do raids. You can buy bottle caps for battle points here at Winden as well, but you'd have to Hyper Train in order to get a wild Pokemon with competitive stats. And right now, they have to be level 100, so I can't select Whimsicott for Hyper Training yet. In addition, if it doesn't have the right nature, you're going to need to invest battle points in Nature Mints. So there's all the Nature Mints here. You can go through the list, find whatever one you want. So there is that as well. And one final note that I'd like to make here is the ability Synchronize. Now, Synchronize is a very useful ability when it comes to searching out wild Pokemon with a specific ability, because what Synchronize does is when you send this Pokemon out, the Pokemon that you're fighting will have the same nature. So if you're mark hunting, for example, if I'm using Alakazam and I want to find something with a modest nature, I would throw my Alakazam out first, and that Pokemon that I'm fighting will have a modest nature. In addition, that would also be true for my Kadabra here. If I'm fighting something with Kadabra, whatever I'm fighting will have a timid nature. So if you want to save battle points and not use the Nature Mints, this is a very good alternative, and I would highly recommend using this because it saves you a whole step. So essentially that's marks in Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's a very personable aspect that absolutely enhances the enjoyment of catching a Pokemon in the wild and raising it, having the most potential out of it that you can get. And I think it's a really cool addition to the game. If you liked what you saw today, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to let you know when my next video is coming out. So, thanks again for watching today, I appreciate it, and don't forget to keep learning.